on 12th of May this year, we will be completing 114 years.
Lovely.
So, and it was started with just one or two visionaries, who were at that point of time. They thought that we should be able to start give education to the needy students. Earlier, it was known as Anath Vidyarthi Griha. So it was only for the people, for the students who didn't have parents, the orphans. And I think government has to really look into this part, that is the education part. So I think today industry is struggling to identify themselves as an industry.
Just to get a sense, what is the kind of entry level salary for a printing engineer? For our viewers to get a hang, can they afford it or not? Just to rough idea.
We don't go be less than 3.5
okay.
Per annum.
So approximately 30,000 a month is
month,
what?
Yeah. So otherwise, what happens? These students have spent 4 years. They have invested in whatever education fees and tuition fees and their living costs. And if they are going to get less than 2 lakhs or 2.5 lakhs or less than 3 lakhs, so then it's then they are going to lose the joy. It's a niche area. And somebody who will like it, somebody who will enjoy it, somebody who will have a passion for it will surely come.
While printing is an art, printing is also a science. Science comes from education. Education has been the backbone of mankind's progress. To speak about the education in the printing industry, we have for the first time an academician, Mrs. Madhura Mahajan from the Pune Vidyarthi Griha's Printing Institute, which is one of the finest printing institutes in India. We've had a range of conversations, one of them being the expectation of students from the industry, the offerings that these students have to give to the industry. We also had a conversation around, can these skilled engineers replace unskilled operators, and the salary structures to these students. Finally, the myths around printing education. To know answers to all these questions, let's go ahead and watch the episode. Hi Madhura ma'am, welcome to Ink Stories.
Hello. Yeah.
Thanks for coming. Welcome to Mumbai. Nice to have you.
Yeah, the pleasure is all mine. And I think looking at the success of Ink Stories, I think I too also had a little bit of motive, goal, ambition to be a part of this, and I'm really happy that I'm here today.
Lovely, that's so sweet of you. Thanks for your nice words. I mean, you being the HOD of Pune Vidyarthi Griha Printing Institute makes a lot of rather makes us feel very happy. You're the first academician to be a part of Ink Stories, and we are looking forward for this wonderful conversation because जहाँ से बच्चे पढ़ के आते हैं और फिर इंडस्ट्री में आते हैं and they are the future of the industry. So we would want to understand from you what's happening in the printing colleges and how the industry can help so that the industry in whole grows. Right. So can we start with understanding a little about your institute, Pune Vidyarthi Griha? What does it do and what are the different courses that you provide?
Yeah. So Pune Vidyarthi Griha, as such, our parent institute, a very old institute with a lot of heritage, a lot of culture, and it started almost 113 years back. So on 12th of May this year, we will be completing 114 years.
Lovely.
So, and it was started with just one or two visionaries, who were at that point of time. They thought that we should be able to start give education to the needy students in this city. So they traveled actually from far off from Maharashtra, remote places of Maharashtra, and they came to Pune and they started this. And from there onwards, it was like no looking back for the institute, and people kept on joining. It's like pre-independence era, and people kept on joining, and then it's become like one huge banyan tree with a lot of branches spread across Maharashtra now.
I'm sure.
And the best part about PVG is it has a history of printing. And so there it's like almost since 1926 or so the initiatives for printing started in that
early,
yeah. And in fact the newspaper Sakal, which is a famous newspaper in Pune, in Maharashtra, And so the person who started it, Nana Sahib Paroekar, so he that was actually initiated in our premises.
Is it?
Yeah, and he was a member of Pune Vidyarthi Griha, and he but then after certain period of time they drifted, and then
They ventured
started
out, okay.
they ventured out and they started initially it was called as Kal, only Kal.
Acha.
And when it was being published from Pune Vidyarthi Griha, and then it now it is being known as Sakal when they moved out.
Okay, Sakal is morning for our non-Maharashtrian
Yes,
friends.
correct.
Okay. So give us a sense of the printing institute of PVG or the printing course of PVG.
Yeah. So this printing background was slowly getting built, and at that point of time also it was famous for printing. So and print education, and not just printing, print education. So there was a printing setup at that time also. So in the 1920s, 30s, 40s. And then there was some printing happening, something was getting published, maybe books were getting published. We had our own publication, Pune Vidyarthi Griha Prakashan. So and just a brief history that earlier it was known as Anath Vidyarthi Griha. So it was only for the people, for the students who didn't have parents, the orphans. And but then eventually it became open to all kinds of students who needed support or help, financial help or education. And then the name changed to Pune Vidyarthi Griha. So they started with a diploma college eventually in the 1970s, and then in the 1980s, precisely in 1985, they started with the engineering college. And so printing diploma is also a very famous institute of Pune Vidyarthi Griha. The reason being famous is that it has given a lot of very eminent alumni who have at that point of time where print industry was really coming up, offset was really booming. So in the 70s, 80s and 90s, PVG has given alumni who have actually run print businesses all over India.
Okay.
So that is why it actually became a name and it established in the print business.
Roughly how many students would have passed out of PVG diploma in engineering put together?
Engineering alone is close to 2,500, 3,000 alumni.
Wow.
And plus another 8-10 years before that diploma has started. So
another
maybe
3,000, 4,000.
Yeah, close
Lovely.
to that. So
Lovely. So there are how many printing institutes across in India? Roughly, I mean, if not
almost
exact.
every state has a diploma college. Almost.
Just one?
Yeah, one or two probably.
Okay.
Pune has, Maharashtra has close to 3 diploma institutes. One in Mumbai, one in Pune, and one in Bid, which is in Marathwada. And otherwise, printing colleges are like 4 to 5. First is Anna University, Chennai. So they have a printing department. It's a university and a department in the university. Then is ours. Then Guru Jambeshwar University, Hisar, which is in Haryana. That is also a university. Jadavpur also is a university which has a printing department.
Okay.
So ours is a private. So you can say ours is a private engineering college.
Okay.
Which was started in 85.
Okay.
And at that point of time where engineering colleges were very few. So it was VIT, MIT, COEP.
Correct.
And Bharati Vidyapit. So these 4 engineering colleges, and at that point of time in 85, the visionary person again, Dr. Pabha Kulkarni sir, who thought of, he did his, who also is a part of PVG. Like he has, he shifted here as an orphan. Then he studied there, lived in PVG, studied there, and then he was funded for his higher education by PVG.
Wonderful.
So he took his education in printing.
Okay.
He came back and from Germany, and then he wanted to start an engineering program, in printing. So that was his vision that time.
Lovely.
And then he really had to go through a lot of odds to start this engineering program. And it was again a private engineering program where again there weren't many institutions who had started then. So I think it was his dream, his vision, and that's what we are all of us are benefiting from.
I'm sure that's wonderful. Hats off to his vision at that point in time to bring out this institute and give us so many alumni.
So if you listen to the stories or the associations of the alumni batches of so 85 started, so 89, 90, 91, they are emotional first when it comes to PVG, or if it comes to Prabhu Kulkarni sir, and then after that their journey starts, if you ask them.
I can imagine. Ma'am, so for me, like, to understand printing engineering, you have IT, that's the computer engineering and affiliate, then mechanical, electrical, electronics, and so on. So where does printing engineering stand for a student? What is the priority list? How is printing engineering chosen by a student? Are we amongst the top, or we are in the bottom, and the reason?
See, rather than keeping it top and bottom, what you would say is it's the choice that the student makes, and the choice will come only when he knows about it. Okay, so today what has happened, the other courses, other programs such as you have mentioned, IT, computer, mechanical, electronics, these are the core branches. Today you have core branches in the sense, after that of course IT, computer joined, and today we have still more technology branches such as IoT or
artificial
AI,
intelligence.
Artificial intelligence and robotics. So printing will come if the student is really interested. Now if he wants to know, so a creative person, a person who has his own business, somebody who likes to design, somebody who likes to do things differently, somebody who is not interested in mechanical, not interested in software, not interested in programming, I'm sure they make this choice, and they know that this is the right option for them. So it's a very choosy decision. It's a very choice-based decision that the student is making in today's era. Earlier, I'm sure many of the alumni would agree that it was a decision where it was the last option. Okay? But today you cannot call it as the last option because there are innumerable options. There are like hundreds of colleges, thousands of colleges, and so many options, and the student will get admission there.
Somewhere or the other. But still he chooses to come to printing.
Still he chooses because, as I said, he doesn't want to go for mechanical. He doesn't want electronics.
Correct.
Okay, so he doesn't, but he wants an engineering, or he has his father's or parents' business, and or he wants to do something creative, and I get so many phone calls from all over India, who will their either parents or their elder sister, brother will say he or she wants to do printing because business hai, and he wants to learn printing.
Lovely.
So that is how I would say it, rather than top.
I just hope that more and more children come into the course and grow our industry.
It is a niche. It's a niche area, and somebody who will like it, somebody who will enjoy it, somebody who will have a passion for it will surely come. But we will have to reach out to people to tell them that these courses are there.
Okay. So ma'am, these top institutes like IITs and BITS and all those, does any of them have a printing or a packaging degree?
So far, no. But IIT Roorkee has I think started. IIT Roorkee had a paper technology course.
Okay.
So they were, since it is close to Saharanpur and CIPRI, that is Center for Paper and Pulp Research Institute. So which is a national institute for research in printing, paper especially. And paper technology. So they have a course also in paper technology, and IIT also has a course. And I think now they have started packaging 4 years BTech or master's course in packaging. And then there is of course Indian Institute of Packaging, which has packaging, but printing, no.
But if these IITs, the IIT Mumbai, Delhi, Madras, Chennai, which is more popularly known as, if these institutes were to start a packaging course or a printing related course, wouldn't it be helping the industry catapult way forward than what it is today?
Yeah, definitely it would. And I think government has to really look into this part, that is the education part. So I think today industry is struggling to identify themselves as an industry.
Yeah.
So and then once it probably I'm sure with their efforts
The
and
hard
that
work and effort
persistent
that the team is being put
yeah,
in.
exactly. So I'm sure they will get the results. So once that identification comes, then I think a lot of things will be falling into place, is the right place, and government will also take cognizance that how this education should be streamlined, and there should be in a structured way, and various government institutes can also take up this in trying to understand the need of the industry. So I think it would be really nice.
It will happen over a period of time.
It will happen over a period of time.
I'm sure and hope it happens. Coming to this, remuneration of a student who passes out, is it like at par with the other courses, or for printing it is generally lower, the pay scale? What are your views about it?
There are different kinds of industries. So there are multinational companies who have their offices or their manufacturing setups in India. Then you have, let's say, companies who have their own, they have developed a name for themselves, such as Parksons, such as, let's say, Pragati Offset,
Right.
or newspaper companies such as Times of India,
Right.
or Hindu, and
The large ones.
So these are the multinationals, the larger national companies who have a good setup, good infrastructure. Then you may have a little medium MSMEs kind of companies, and then there are small printers. So definitely each company has their own pay scale. A multinational company has a good pay scale. They start off with and they have policies that they should hire engineers, and so they have a proper policy structure, and that's how they work. So they will definitely pay more to a graduate passing out from any printing college.
Okay.
So definitely that means a foreign company, a multinational company is willing to pay. They can pay, or they are willing
match
to pay.
the other industries.
Some companies like Times of India also pays well. These bigger companies who understands the importance of engineers and the thought process which goes behind, the analytical skills that goes behind an engineer, so they are able to recognize them and they are able to pay. So these two I would say in the hierarchy are paying at par with the other industries.
That's nice.
The small printers who also need engineers but are not able to afford that kind of pay scale, but they do need engineers because they feel that they need trained manpower, or somebody who has that kind of skill or knowledge
or willingness to learn
and grow and develop themselves and the company. And whereas the owner wants to focus on something else rather than just manage everything on his own. So they do hire engineers, but then they are not in a position to pay.
So just to get a sense, what is the kind of entry level salary for a printing engineer, for our viewers to get a hang, can they afford it or not? Just to rough idea.
At PVG, I have actually defined the norms. I said, I know we don't go less than 3.5 per annum.
So approximately 30,000 a month is what?
Yeah. So otherwise, what happens? These students have spent 4 years. They have invested in whatever education fees and tuition fees and their living costs. And if they are going to get less than 2 lakhs or 2.5 lakhs or less than 3 lakhs, so then it's then they are going to lose the joy.
Fair enough.
That why did I do this? I would have done something else. So I have to keep the balance. I have to also understand industry needs plus the students' needs, and then make sure that
the fine balance is maintained.
Yeah, both are in win-win.
Win-win situation. Yeah, I do understand. So, what are the challenges that you as an academician face in terms of support from the industry? कि कहाँ पे gap है? What is the expectation from the student or from the education fraternity? Industry जो नहीं समझ रहा है.
See, if you see let's start from the student point of view perspective. So for a student, he looks for a good company or placement is his objective. So first year mein, whenever he will take the admission, his parents, the first question they will ask is what are the placement opportunities. So placement is there. We have placement, students get placed. But for the student, he has a dream company. Today awareness is so much. He reads through social media or through brands are so much important. So there is a lot of printing and packaging behind every brand. So for him, that kind of he has that dream company in his mind. So if that company is not coming, then that's a challenge. So then for a faculty, what happens is they need a lot of research-based projects. So if that is not happening, then that support is missing out from the curriculum, because research helps not only grooming the students, but it also helps in grooming and developing the faculty.
Correct.
So it's because no project is handled independently by the students. It will be mentored or guided by a faculty. So it's a learning experience. Correct. Right from reaching out to the industry, getting their problem or working on the problem and giving a solution is something that the whole experience is taken by the students as well as the faculty. So if these so placement is one thing, research is one thing, and then today institutes are not able to handle all kinds of resources. So it's not possible to buy the kind of machine, the kind of setup, the equipment which industry is using. So they will be using imported machines. They will be getting brand new machines which are costing 5 crores and above.
Or upwards.
Yeah, and that kind of setup is definitely not possible. So, and we can afford it only if we get some funded projects, right? So IITs get funded projects. They not only get funds from the government, but they also get funds from industry, where they are given a problem and they are given funds, not resources in terms of equipment, but funds where they can purchase, and that study, that research can happen in the laboratory, and then those results are used for the industry. So that's how they are growing. That's how such bigger or larger universities or colleges are growing.
I want to come on the research part that you mentioned. Now, say for example, I am from the industry and I want to get a student or a couple of students to work on some projects. तो मैं कैसे reach out करूँ? मुझे कैसे पता कि what is the way for a viewer who's listening and is like अरे मुझे नहीं पता था कि I can get resources from Pune Vidyarthi Grah. So how will they reach out to you?
See, I'll tell you, there has been a paradigm shift. So earlier, institutes were not willing to work on any projects. They were not working on any research, and it was only teaching. It was only academics. But today, government norms have changed. Government has emphasized on curriculums, which is the authority for technical education is All India Council for Technical Education. AICT. So they want students to start experiencing using their hands and mind. So application of mind and application of whatever they are, they have to experience it either by collecting data or experimenting it. So that kind of courses have been started coming into the curriculum. So right from the first year, problem-based learning has started. So first year, second year, and then of course final year projects are there. So it's not that institutes were not eager to do it, but government has also kind of emphasized that they
now
should
there is a push from the government as well. So the message that I get from you is that the institutes like PVG are very keen on associating with the industry. So please come forward and talk to us. Yes. We'll be more than open.
So there are, and it's not only research. It could be anything, survey kind of work, or some research data collection kind of work, or maybe just trying to collect information, or just measurement. Give sheets, give them to measure the data, maybe in terms of color or whatever they want to measure.
Actually, ma'am, there's something that I was having a conversation with a friend. He wanted to put a investment which is a couple of crores on a new technology for his business. So he was asking me, it would be nice if there was a group of people or an organization who could do a research for me to tell me, is it viable to do this project? So will the institute be interested in something like this?
Yeah, I mean, students, see what happens, we have students as our manpower, okay? They are not trained, of course, I know that, but we have, the faculty is there, and plus we have many alumni who can mentor us, that group. And alumni also would be happy to mentor because they like giving back to their institute, to their college. So, and they are doing so since so many years, and I'm sure they will feel happy to guide such small groups, or wherever they get stuck up. So it's like we have a good network of people. So if our competency is being judged, then there is another network which was also there where we can fall back to and get resources or help. So it's a team.
Yeah, I get a sense. So what you're basically trying to say is that agar in-house wo resources nahi bhi ho, so you have got your alumni network through which we can get this kind of work done. But please reach out. Unless आप बात नहीं करोगे तो ये conversation आगे बढ़ेगा नहीं.
Correct. And unless such things are not shared with the institutes, that kind of experience also the students wouldn't get, which they are eventually going to get after they go in the industry.
Can you give some example of some project that you have done so people really understand कि generally कैसे projects होते हैं? Some possible examples.
Yeah, see, I'll tell you. We started with Ballarpur Industries in 2006 or 7, around that time. And Ballarpur Industries is a paper manufacturing company which is based out of near Big One, Baramati. So it's just 100 kilometers from Pune. And you wouldn't believe that when they approached like this, they just walked into our campus one fine day, and they must have, of course, got information from alumni or somebody from the industry. And their R&D head, Mr. Patharkar, Vijay Patharkar. So he was very keen on learning printing, because they are a paper manufacturing company, and they faced a lot. Their customers who were buying paper, they had a lot of issues during printing. So they wanted to learn, and he is a very highly inquisitive person. He wants to really, and he's a paper technologist. So he wanted to learn, and then he actually gave us a lot of problems related to paper and printing. Nice. And in mutually both PVG printing department and Ballarpur, we actually grew together. So we taught them printing, they taught us paper.
Wow.
So, and in fact we did a lot of training programs for their operators, their middle level executives, top level executives, where they wanted to know about printing. So they wanted to know what is ink density. And this was like in 2007 and then.
Yeah.
So they wanted to know what is ink density, why cyan should have so much ink density, why magenta has this ink film thickness, what is the color theory or color science behind that, what are the deficiencies and all that. So it was that journey which started, and I would really give credit to Ballarpur for making us start thinking in that direction.
Lovely.
And Mr. Path, and then I'll tell you how mutually it grew. If we helped them in so many of their problems, and then he used to take us to many conferences and seminars. So he used to literally tag us. He used to put us in their car and he used to say ki we have to go to Mumbai, there is a conference, one-day conference, or there is a workshop, or Mr. Kiran Prayagi is going to take a session, you come and sit. Kiran Prayagi is coming to Ballarpur at Big One, you all come and listen to him. So that was the initiative taken by him, not only to develop themselves but to us also as faculty.
Lovely.
So we were maybe not very naive, I would say, and not very pro also.
Yeah.
But we were also in the learning phase. But then that really helped us to grow. And then slowly, then ink companies, because of Mr. Patharkar's connects, then Uber came, and then different ink manufacturers, Sigwork came, and like this. Then these people, the consumables, the raw material manufacturers, they were facing problems with print. So it was like, rather than a printer approaching us, we had these people.
Right.
And then that's how the project
nice.
started.
Actually, this is how projects should start. I mean, that's a very nice example, and I'm sure all our viewers are listening. They could also think, even if you have a big or a small problem, please reach out to any of the institutes which are closer to you. If you are in Maharashtra, you could reach out to PVG, or if you are in, I'm sure there are printing institutes wherever you are. So
and you won't believe that over this span of whatever my 26 years, how the problems have been changing, literally changing. And today we are working with a number of startups who have either started a new product, entirely new product, and they want to launch it as a packaging material or a package or as an ink for that packaging material, or a sensing ink, it could be, which we call it as a smart ink, or as a smart package. So
Okay.
these people are more, these are also keen now. So it's
Yeah.
not just merely a normal paper.
The conventional paper and ink.
And
In fact,
conventional printing.
new technologies also
But
can be done.
New technologies with a lot of technology added, such as IoT or even 3D printing. So they have approached us, and they want their problems to be solved, or they want to launch their product with the help of our department.
The possibilities are limitless, no? What all
Totally
can be done?
limitless,
Once the conversation begins, what all could be done, only
Exactly.
sky is the limit.
Yes.
Agreed. Ma'am, I think you mentioned about operators, that ticked me. Many of my friends who are running printing businesses, they find it as a challenge to get operators. What are your views on this? What do you see as a future? How is this going to translate in the future? With so many new printing machines coming in, who are going to run this presses? I mean, the engineers, I'm sure they're not interested in running the presses.
See, once the engineers is being paid, I'm sure, up to a certain part of his life, he will definitely like to run the machine. So maybe his first year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, probably 5 years, like let's say, for example, Times of India. Times of India, I think, has majorly engineers on the shop floor.
Oh.
So it could be mechanical engineer, an electrical engineer, printing engineer, or an electronics engineer. So they will run the machine.
Lovely.
Okay. Same is in the case of Tetra Pak.
Okay.
Okay. So they will also run, these engineers or the technologists, like the diploma holders.
Lovely.
So they will run the machines, and but then after a certain period of time, of course, everybody wants to
Transition to
go,
hona chahiye na, so the next batch is also coming.
coming in. Correct.
Oh, that's actually a very
So-
nice thing that you said, that these people, many of them, they feel that they should exit the business क्योंकि future नहीं है, operators नहीं है. But what you say can be a nice way if you start paying engineers or the diploma guys their rightful due salary. You could probably have them who are much more skilled
Right.
to handle those machines, because you're getting high-end machines. You should have high-end people also handling
Today,
them.
and I'm sure today it is all cloud based. There's all IoT. There's all automation, and if it's very, I do believe in training. I'm not saying that operators should not be trained. Today, an unskilled operator, he himself should think about upskilling himself, and at
True.
the same time, the company also should think about training and upskilling their skills. But that's going to take a long duration. So if you want to really cut that time, and if you want to have better and faster production, then I think engineers would do a better job.
Yeah.
And it will take a little less time as compared to getting an operator trained. But I think it's not possible for every company to hire engineers.
But at least you can start thinking. If not the ones at the bottom, at least the ones somewhere in the middle or at the top, they could start thinking. If Tetra Pak is doing it, if Times is doing it, and some of the good companies are doing it, others can at least think, because there are so many companies who are growing so fast in the packaging space, especially.
Yes. So I think, that choice they have to make eventually, because technology is creeping in.
Correct.
And they will not be able to. There is going to be actually very less need to go down on the shop floor and run the machine physically. So if
Automation will come in.
So if it has to be happening from the cabin or from the from a remote place, then I think engineers should be hired.
So the future, I mean, in terms of these engineers who are passing out this year, next year, the future, are they willing to be on the shop floor, or they want to sit in the office? What is the kind of...
No, it's again, as I said, it's the choice.
Yeah.
Somebody really wants to work in the shop floor. Somebody really has a skill of talking or good communication. He wants to be out in the field, and he wants to sell something. So it's
a mix.
Every individual has his own background, his own way of handling things. So, and his comfort zone, I would say. And so there are all kinds of students available.
Yeah, I can understand. And I think that rightfully so. The industry needs a mix. You need a business development guy, you need a management guy, you need a technical guy, a shop floor guy,
Correct.
all kinds of people.
And all kinds of people are there. All kinds of students are there.
Students are there. I mean, Right. So in terms of, it's just about how the industry and the institutes collaborate for the betterment of the print industry, the growth of the print industry.
Right.
So, ma'am, a little bit about you. I mean, you can just give us a background about how you have come into this industry. Are you like a student of PVG or some other college?
No, I'm very much a product of PVG, and I really feel proud of that because
Great.
I mean, and whatever I do, and in this whatever industry I am, so and I am whatever I am is because of this field and
I'm
this whatever recognition, whatever the invite that I have got even here is because of this field. So I am basically from Pune. My schooling and my junior college 10th 12th is from Pune, so and I passed out from I did my 12th from Ferguson and then I came into engineering. Now my father is an engineer and my mother is a teacher, so she also retired as a vice principal. And so I had like two thought processes continuously in front of me. So one, my mother was an emotional kind of person, always connected with students and helping students. I've seen cases where she used to pay fees for the students, whoever couldn't manage. So sweet. Yeah. And my father on the other hand was very logical, very analytical, and he would he wanted both. I have a younger sister, so both his daughters, he wanted them to become engineers. And we after 12th, of course, there were limited engineering colleges and limited seats at that point of time. So in 1990s, this was in 1990s, and then he came across this in the newspaper. Dr. Pabha Kulkarni's College of Printing Engineering and Graphic Communication. That was the name first at that point of time. And so he saw this ad, and then he only visited the campus that time, and he just took the admission for me. He didn't even ask me whether you want to go there, whether what, where. So he went to MIT, he went to VIT, and then he went to this college last. And then Pabha Kulkarni sir was like, he was so welcoming, and he said that she must come here. So and then because of whoever has met Pabha Kulkarni sir, it's very difficult to say no to him. So that's his convincing powers.
Nice.
So he had to enroll me there, and that's how my journey started. And I have been a topper in my engineering days.
Lovely.
So and then after that I got recruited in Parsons in my campus.
So
I was in Mumbai for 1 year. It was a little difficult, living in Mumbai. I was living here only in Andheri. I was going to Lal Bagh, or at that time Lal Bagh, they had their corporate office. And it was fun. That 1 year was fun. I got to learn a lot of things from Parsons and Mr. Ramesh Kejriwal. I'm still in touch with him.
Lovely.
And he supports me a lot even today. Even if I approach him for any help, any difficulty I have, he's there. And then I came back to Pune after 1 year of experience, and then I was working with Tata Press. Sales, and I was in sales because because of living in Pune and having good school education and college, so I had good skills, communication skills, and that's how Parsons picked me up. From I was the only girl selected, and they selected me for sales. So I still remember Mr. Ramesh Kejriwal asking me this question, that why you want to go for sales if we select you for sales. So somehow I ended up there, and but it was nice traveling. Then again in Tata Press I got selected in sales, and after that again there was an ad in the newspaper which said that there are openings in Pune. So now my mother came into the picture, and then she talked me out and then she said that how you should become a teacher, and how it is important for girls or for women to become into academics, and then so on and so forth. So that's how she
convinced you into
joining. She convinced me into joining, and from 96 onwards I am with PVG.
Oh wow, so that's almost 23 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's quite a lot. No, in fact, more than that.
26, yeah,
26,
almost
26,
26 years.
27 years. Oh, lovely. Oh, I mean, you just mentioned about being a lady and in the print industry. So my question to you is, how was the skew in terms of male-female ratio in the printing institutes? Are there girls who are coming in to pursue a career in printing?
Yeah, there are girls. I mean, when they come and take admissions, their parents are little skeptical and worried as to what kind of industry is this, and will they get a job and how. But then some of the girls are really doing well today.
That's
and
nice.
Meenakshi Sapru is one
Yeah,
such
yeah,
example.
she's a good friend. Yeah.
So
Oh, she's a
she-
product of PVG. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Ah,
so
okay.
she is doing extremely well,
Yes,
and so dynamic, and handling such great responsibilities.
Yeah.
So it's upon that individual, so girls and their family background also plays
much
a
they
role.
support.
They support, so that. But then of course the ratio is little weaker towards girls. So there are less girls, more boys. But many girls are doing well, and also most of the girls do again further branch out into IT.
Okay.
So they do feel a little comfort there,
Okay.
and they take up some more courses in
Okay.
IT, and then they join there.
Okay.
So that's also one opening, I would say.
One opening. Yeah, once you do your printing engineering, and the way probably even technology might come into the printing industry.
Yeah. So there are girls being selected by Infosys or by TCS, and they have printing domain.
Yeah.
So printing technology domain, and
Sure.
they select girls for that purpose,
Yeah.
where they can visualize, they can see, or they know that for this kind of process, this is the software, or this
Sure.
is the code, or this is the algorithm required.
Right. So there is a opportunity in spite of doing your printing in the IT space also. It's not
Yes.
that you have to only be doing hardcore printing.
Yeah.
That's nice. So any signing off message for the industry that you would want to say as an academician leading the printing institute?
I think there are a lot of myths about the institute, and when it comes to institute, it is always the curriculum. And when I go to any conference, or when I go to any networking programs, or any exhibitions, expos, so a lot of people meet us or my other colleagues from the academics, not just our college, and they say that curriculum change hota hai ki nahi. So that is the question, that's the first question. So yeah, वैसा ही है. So I said कि it's not वैसा ही नहीं है. It's like we are today all, and this has been happening, and right from 96 I joined, so 97 onwards I have seen, and we are all a part of that change of syllabus, and we try to get in whatever is happening at that point of time. So maybe in the 90s, or then in the 2000, or whenever the syllabus got changed and revised in. So there are revisions, and university or government is also today very active,
proactively
taking those steps. And printing again being the only curriculum or only program in the university, we have a little bit of flexibility where we can add or remove a subject.
Lovely.
And so today, if you can think of it, we have all the technology. So we have 3D printing, we have AI, artificial intelligence, and ML. We have IoT based subjects. We have smart packaging.
Oh.
Okay? And we have experts also for these.
Wow.
So it's not just the courses. We have the DU experts, people coming and teaching that. And we have started an honors program in packaging. So we call it it's a dual degree. So student will not just get a BE printing, but student will also get a BE honors in advanced packaging.
Lovely.
So so which again deals with all the latest technology. So which so it's not core, it's that the technology driving the core. So those subjects are there. And because that's why if we don't change it, the students will not be able to work today in the industry. Industry will not come for campus.
Yeah.
So the message is that it's not that we are not
we are lagging behind. We are very much. In fact, we are ahead. We are very much ahead.
Just of the industry, I would say. theoretically. We don't have that kind of setup to show where this is used or applied.
Correct.
But our research projects definitely, which are in collaboration with industry, those are at par with the industry, even in practical. Practically.
Correct. I get a sense. I mean, to be honest, I was also on the other side where पढ़ाई में कुछ ज़्यादा change नहीं होता. But when I hear you, I realize that actually the curriculum is way ahead. The industry has to make use of these expertise that the students are building up along with the faculty.
When I say cyber security or IoT, or we have taken all the best of experts to teach them, because I know my faculty, they are qualified as printing engineers. So it's difficult for them, but then there has to be some merger.
Right.
And this technology has to merge with printing, and then both together has to be run for the students. So for that, I will need an experienced faculty or an expert, and then after that the new faculty who will join in, they will also have that enthusiasm for this technology.
Correct.
Maybe I would say the senior faculty would little get drifted away from the technology, but the new generation faculties are into it and they want to learn it. So the experienced people who are into this 3D printing or AI/ML or cyber security or IoT, they will slowly train them, and then that's how they will gel into this, and we'll have more that kind of experience.
Wonderful. A very powerful conversation. I'm sure many people would love to hear this, in terms of the industry is moving fast, and the education to support that industry is also moving at a faster pace. So please collaborate with the institutes and see how you can make best use of this opportunity and help your company grow as well as India grow.
Yes.
Ma'am, in the paucity of time, I would love to ask you so many more questions, but I think we'll have to, curtail this conversation here and, probably get on to some more questions at a later date.
Okay.
I have two more questions for you. One is in terms of, I have seen you on LinkedIn and we have some common connections as well. I got to know about you. Likewise, you have some people in mind who probably would be a good guest for us in terms of sharing their journey in terms of being a part of the print industry.
Yeah, surely. I mean, there are so many of them, and you wouldn't believe that these people are doing such great work, in their own fields. So there is one faculty who comes and teaches us. He is a PhD in polymer from MIT Pune itself, and I found him on LinkedIn.
Achha.
So Dr. Samir Joshi, and he is totally into recyclability of plastics.
Wow.
And he mentors so many companies to recycle the plastic material and make different kinds of products from that.
Super.
And he recently he has given us small gifts, which are mobile stands, which have the different angles, to place the mobile for different viewing. And that is made out of plastic,
recycled plastic,
chocolate wrappers, only from chocolate wrappers.
Wow.
So you can invite him, I'm sure, and he is a very enthusiastic person, lot of experience. You can have a great chat with him.
Would love to have.
So it's not a graphic arts industry, but
anyone who's got a stake in the industry, print, packaging, paper, films.
He also he has some connect. I mean, he has some. He's advising somewhere for UN also.
Oh, nice.
So that's why I think he would be a great valuable source.
Lovely. Would love to connect with him. I'll take his contacts.
Yeah, and you can also talk to some more academicians.
Yeah, probably if you have a list of them, you can send it. We'll get connected with them.
Right.
And just wanted to know about, for our improvement, how do you find this podcast? What is your view? That first impression after doing it, what is your thoughts about Ink Stories?
See, I was very excited because when I came to know that there is a podcast in printing, when the first podcast was shared on one of the common groups, the big groups where a lot of printers are there.
Right.
So somebody shared it. I think it was Future group or something, and that's
Janus International Denver Annunciation. It was the first podcast.
No, it was shared on some of the groups where the different printers
Ah,
are
okay,
there, and
okay.
I'm also on that group. And then I was really excited that oh wow, this is for the first time I'm going to listen to an Indian who's interviewing, as well as who is going to
Correct.
give his thoughts, share his thoughts. So that was really exciting. And then as I started listening, I have not listened to all of them, but a few of them, whom I have listened is, I think it's a great journey that they share. As I said, there are today little things inspire us, because
Yeah.
we are all caught up in our own world.
True.
And our work schedules, morning to evening, and whatever we look around and we see any positivity, we feel happy, and a lot of positivity is being shared by your podcast. So maybe that helps, and if you, I mean, you're not the only one. That's the thought when you see the challenges
who are
of
seeing who are going through those challenges.
So
Yeah.
you're not the only one, and that kind of tells you that and also it gives you a platform where you can reach out to.
Right.
And so that's very important. I think that a platform is very important where you are spreading positivity. I'll just give you an example of Roger Federer, and I really love him for the way he is, and
Yeah.
he has the way he has his platform is used as positivity.
Right.
When you look at him, when you watch him, when you see his videos, when you see his ads, or you watch him play.
Very inspiring.
Okay, very inspiring. And whatever he does is like, there's no negativity in
Yeah.
that. So I think that's what is your podcast about, and I think you should take it.
You've compared us with a legend. I mean, I take it with all. I don't have the right word to express, but thanks a lot for your kind words.
The whole credit is yours and your team, who is taking a lot
Very
of
much,
efforts into
yeah.
researching and finding the people, bringing them here, or you reaching out to people. I think you all are great, doing a great job.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Wonderful having you, and we look forward to some more conversation sometime later, so that we could get more to know from the colleges of what's happening and what the industry should do differently.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
you.
Thanks a lot.
a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.